Hi everybody, this is Miss Hunter from the West Bank Boys and Girls Club, and today I'm going to read Landforms, Islands. And we're going to learn about how islands form and how they change over time, as well as the plants and animals that make that island their home. So let's get started. Chapter 1, Surrounded by Water. Water splashes on the sandy shore. Palm trees wave in the ocean breeze. The air is warm and humid. The sun shines brightly on the hot sand. This beach goes all the way around the island. Waves brush the shores of the Solomon Islands. An island is land surrounded by water. Islands come in many sizes. Some are quite small, others are huge. Many islands are in the ocean, but islands can also form in lakes or rivers. Islands can have different climates too. Not all islands are tropical and sandy. Fun fact, Greenland is the largest island on Earth. It covers 836,000 square miles. Greenland is a rocky island. It is often covered in snow. Some islands are rocky. Islands can be covered in ice. Chapter 2, The Birth of an Island. Islands form in many ways. Some form when a piece of land breaks off of a continent. Over time, the piece drifts away. It becomes a continental island. This can also happen because of erosion. The island of Borneo broke away from the continent of Asia. The state of Hawaii is a string of volcanic islands. Volcanoes can form islands in the sea. After a volcano erupts, the lava cools. Later, more lava piles up on top of it. Eventually, the mound of lava rises out of the water. A volcanic island is born. Barrier islands form near the shore. Waves and currents act like a broom. They sweep sand and other sediment into giant piles. This process forms an island. Fun fact, Mauna Kea is a huge volcano on the island of Hawaii. The lava there has piled up more than 33,000 feet, but only 13,796 feet of land shows above the water. Small coral islands are called atolls. They may grow to be larger islands. Some islands are created by tiny sea creatures called corals. Many corals live together in groups known as colonies. Their hard skeletons form reefs. Reefs can grow to be huge. Sometimes the reefs rise up out of the water, then sand and rock build up on top. An island forms. This type of island is called a coral island. People make islands too. These are called artificial islands. To make an artificial island, people pile up material in the water. Fun fact, one person made his own island out of empty plastic bottles. He lives on his island in Mexico. Chapter 3, Changing Islands. New islands form all the time, but existing islands can change too. The same forces that create islands can change them. For example, volcanic islands grow when the volcanoes on them erupt. As lava hardens, more lava can pile up on top of it. The extra lava makes the islands bigger. Sand or other materials can also pile up on islands and make them grow. Other islands are shrinking. Sometimes this shrinking happens because of erosion. Waves and currents can move sand and rocks from an island, and the island shrinks over time. In other cases, islands shrink because of climate change. Many islands near Antarctica are shrinking as they melt due to climate change. Fun fact, some of the ice in Greenland is melting. This has uncovered new islands that were once connected by ice. As the planet warms, ice melts. This causes the sea level to rise. Water can cover some islands. Climate change is responsible for bigger storms too. These storms can create more erosion. Barrier islands change often. Ocean waves push sand onto the island, but during storms, rough waves and wind can take the sand away. This can change the shape of the island. Sometimes the movement of the sand shifts the location of the island. Matakana Island is a barrier island to New Zealand. Fun fact, a hurricane formed a new island off of North Carolina in 2017. It was called Shelly Island. Later, another hurricane changed it and connected it to land. Landforms of the world, the Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos Islands are famous for their unique wildlife. These 20 volcanic islands are in the Pacific Ocean. In the 1800s, Charles Darwin studied the wildlife on these islands. He discovered that the animals adapted to their environment. For example, Darwin found 13 different kinds of finches on the Galapagos Islands. Each kind of finch had a different beak. The different beak shapes allowed the finches to eat different kinds of food. There are 56 native bird species on the Galapagos Islands. Chapter 4, Island Life. Islands support all kinds of life, but the type of life depends on the island's location. The environment creates unique habitats. Many islands have wildlife found nowhere else on Earth. Komodo dragons are only found on a group of islands in Indonesia. The dark feathers on king penguins soak up heat from the sun to keep them warm. Arctic islands are in the far north. These islands are usually cold. They often have no trees, but there are many small plants such as moss and grass. Polar bears, caribou, and Arctic foxes are some of the only animals that make their homes there. Walruses and whales live in the sea around the islands. Warmer islands have greater biodiversity. For example, the Caribbean islands are in a warm sea between North and South America. Fun fact, many types of penguins live on the islands near Antarctica. Thick skin and a layer of fat helps to keep them warm. Fun fact, many types of penguins live on the islands near Antarctica. Thick skin and a layer of fat helps to keep them warm. Ring-tailed lemurs are one of many unique species found on Madagascar. They have thousands of different plants and tree species. There are also hundreds of different animals and birds. The reefs around the islands support many kinds of sea life. Sea turtles, reef sharks, and stingrays can all be found in these waters. Fun fact, the island of Madagascar has 200,000 different species of plants and animals. Of those, 150,000 species are not found anywhere else on Earth. And that's the end of our reading about islands today. You can actually go ahead and test yourself using what's appeared on the screen, the Focus on Islands, and see how much you remember. You don't have to, though. It's really all about the fun of reading. So I'll see you next time. Bye.